This morning, the biggest bank robbery was reported. It was carried out by an unidentified person. The city police appointed a special unit to investigate the robbery, announced the police speaker on the television. Sitting in our living room, I glanced up at the TV upon hearing the news. It was about the largest bank robbery in our city. Carefully, I listened to the details. According to the report, the robbery had been executed by a single individual who had managed to conceal their identity. The incident had been captured on the bank's CCTV cameras, but the perpetrator had their face covered. Glancing at the clock, I noted it was 9:30 p.m. Normally, my wife would have returned home by 7:30 p.m., but today she was late. As I dialed her mobile number, I heard the familiar sound of the doorbell. Hurrying to the main door, I opened it to find my wife standing there. "Darling, why are you late today? I tried to call you, but you didn't answer," I said, concern evident in my voice. "I'm so tired, Oliver. I think you've heard about today's bank robbery," my wife replied wearily. "Yes, I heard the news. Grady, I've prepared dinner. Go take a bath and then come join me," I said, trying to ease her fatigue. "Thank you, darling," she said lovingly, heading towards the bathroom. My wife works as a police officer in the intelligence unit of our city police. She's exceptionally talented and dedicated to her duties. We've been married for a year now, and we both live in our cozy home. Previously, I worked in a fashion designing company, but I left that job when my wife transferred to the city police unit. Currently, I work as a freelance fashion designer. After a refreshing bath, my wife returned, and we both enjoyed our dinner together. "You're so talented in cooking. Your food is always delicious," my wife complimented me, as she often did. "Thank you, darling. Working as a freelance fashion designer gives me more time to cook," I replied with a smile. After dinner, we settled in the living room. "Oliver, I've been assigned to a special task group to investigate today's bank robbery. It's the biggest one yet, and everyone, both civilians and officers, is paying attention to this investigation," my wife began the conversation. "Have you found any leads on the robber?" I inquired. "We've reviewed all the CCTV records, and we discovered that the bank robber was last seen near a restaurant located near the main bus stand. We suspect there might be a connection between the robber and the restaurant. Additionally, we found some hair near the bank locker, which we believe could belong to the robber. From the videos, we noticed that the robber seems to have a problem with his right leg. Team leader Clara instructed me to gather all the details about that restaurant and any special persons who frequent it," my wife explained. "I've been to that restaurant several times. I might be able to help you with gathering details," I offered. "Oliver, I'm worried that if you go, you might be recognized, which could jeopardize the investigation. If the robber identifies you, he might go into hiding," Grady replied, her mood turning solemn. "I could always go in disguise," I suggested with a chuckle, trying to lighten the mood. Grady didn't immediately respond, lost in her thoughts. After a moment, she began to speak. "Oliver, that's actually a brilliant idea. We could visit the restaurant in disguise," Grady suggested. "Really? Do you have a plan?" I asked, feeling a bit confused but intrigued. How about we go as a couple?" Grady proposed with a smile. "That's not exactly a new idea. They might still recognize us," I replied skeptically. "I have a special plan," Grady said, and I could tell she was about to suggest something out of the ordinary. "Darling, what if we switch roles? I'll dress as a boy, and you dress as a girl," she proposed unexpectedly. I was taken aback by Grady's suggestion. "Are you joking?" I asked, trying to comprehend her proposal. "It's not a joke. I'm serious. Remember how I used to act as a boy in school? And you've played the role of a girl in school dramas countless times," Grady said with a warm smile. As my wife spoke, memories of my past experiences dressing as a girl flooded back, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of embarrassment. I had shared these stories with Grady long ago, but I never imagined revisiting those moments. "Darling, what do you think? I think you could agree with my proposal. I would enjoy dressing as a boy again, and it would provide a safe way for us to enter the restaurant," Grady explained earnestly, breaking the silence. I couldn't believe my ears. My wife, wanting to dress as a boy? It was a revelation that caught me off guard. Darling, I've dressed as a girl during my school years, but I don't think it's feasible at this stage, I explained, trying to mask my underlying desire to dress as a girl again. Are you concerned about how you'll look once dressed as a girl? Grady asked, sensing my hesitation. Yes, I suppose I am. I'm worried that I might not look the part anymore, I replied honestly, my insecurities surfacing. Darling, you have fair skin and a slim body. Your facial hair is very thin, like a younger boy's. Your figure is different from other boys your age. You have a slim and cute figure. You know, I really like your cuteness. It's one of the reasons I decided to marry you, Grady said with affection. Grady's words surprised me. While I was aware of my somewhat feminine physique, her heartfelt compliments about my appearance were something new and unexpected. I paused, considering her proposal. Grady, if you believe in my ability to pull off this transformation, then I'm willing to dress as a girl, I shyly expressed my acceptance, feeling a mix of uncertainty and intrigue at the idea. Thank you, my darling. I feel so relieved knowing you've agreed to help with my investigation, Grady said, planting a kiss on my cheek. Grady, it's already midnight. Let's continue our discussion tomorrow morning, I suggested, eager to end our conversation and get some rest. My wife agreed, and we made our way to the bedroom. After exchanging goodnight wishes, we settled into bed. It didn't take long for sleep to claim me, and soon I was lost in deep slumber. The next morning dawned with the promise of a new adventure. After our morning routines of bathing and breakfast, Grady headed off to her office. Before leaving, she assured me that she would return soon with the necessary items for my transformation. As my wife headed off to her duty, I settled into our living room and switched on the television. However, instead of focusing on the screen, memories from my school days flooded my mind. Back then, I was different from the other boys my age. I often found solace in solitude and didn't have many friends. It was during my time in higher classes that my life took an unexpected turn. My class teacher selected me for the school drama team, explaining they needed a boy to play a female character. Initially, I was hesitant and resistant, but my teachers persisted, eventually persuading me to give it a try. Under the guidance of our drama teacher, I underwent training to portray female characters convincingly. I recall the initial performances were met with skepticism from some, but as time went on, many of my teachers and peers began to appreciate my talent for playing female roles. With each act, I discovered a newfound enjoyment in embodying these characters. Throughout my school years, I had the opportunity to portray a variety of female roles on stage. However, once I left the school, the opportunities to dress as a girl became nil, and with time, my desire to do so gradually waned. Yet, as I sat in the living room reminiscing about those days, I couldn't help but feel a flicker of that old excitement reignite within me. As I reflected on my past experiences with crossdressing, I felt a surge of excitement at the prospect of embracing this opportunity once again, spurred on by my wife's proposal. Determined to give my best to the investigation and to fully enjoy the chance to dress as a girl, I made up my mind. Lost in my memories, I was startled by the sudden sound of the doorbell, interrupting my thoughts. Realizing that it must be my wife returning home, I hurried to the main door and opened it to find Grady standing there, laden with bags. I'm so tired. I quickly purchased all the items for our transformation, Grady said wearily, her voice betraying her exhaustion. I watched as Grady laid the bags on the sofa before sinking down to rest, clearly in need of relaxation after her shopping spree. Oliver, I discussed my plan for the investigation with my team leader, Clara. She appreciated it and instructed me to visit the restaurant tomorrow. We need to start preparing today and there's a lot to do, Grady updated me on the details. Darling, why don't you go freshen up with a bath and then we'll have lunch together? I suggested, eager to get started on our transformation preparations. After lunch, we retreated to our bedroom, where Grady began unpacking the bags, laying out the contents on the bed. Among the items were pretty panties, padded bras, hip enhancers, frocks, wigs, earrings, necklaces, and high heels. But one item caught my attention. It looked and felt like a real breast. Grady, what's this? It feels like a real breast, I asked, intrigued as I reached out to touch it. It's called a breast form, made of silicone. Many crossdressers use them to achieve a more feminine body shape. These will help you attain a beautiful female figure, Grady explained, shedding light on the mysterious item. That's an amazing product. It's so soft and has weight to it. I never had something like this for my school dramas. We used stockings to fill bra cups, I remarked, marveling at the breast forms. Oliver, we have some work to do today. First, you need to remove the hair from your legs, arms, chest, and face. You can use my hair removal creams for that, but make sure to follow the instructions on the cream, Grady instructed me. Following Grady's guidance, I headed into the bathroom and carefully removed my body hair according to the cream's instructions. When I emerged, my skin felt incredibly smooth, and my legs and arms gleamed in the light. Returning to our bedroom, Grady examined my handiwork, checking my hands, legs, chest, and face to ensure that all the hair had been properly removed. Darling, come sit on the bed. I'm going to shape your eyebrows, Grady instructed me. Without a word, I complied, taking a seat on the bed. I realized that Grady was paying attention to every small detail of the male-to-female transformation process, ensuring a thorough and successful transformation. As Grady began shaping my eyebrows using the threading method, I winced slightly at the unfamiliar sensation. Eyebrow shaping was a painful experience for me. It's painful, I remarked, feeling the discomfort. Hold on, I'll finish soon, Grady reassured me, working carefully to minimize the pain. With patience and precision, Grady shaped my eyebrows, transforming them into a new, feminine arch that complemented my face. The new eyebrows give your face a feminine look, Grady remarked, admiring her handiwork. After shaping my eyebrows, Grady returned with a bottle of nail polish in hand. This is for your nails, she explained. Grady carefully applied the nail polish to each of my nails, the scent of it filling the air as she worked. We've finished the basic steps of your transformation. Now I need to remove my nail polish, Grady said, signaling the completion of our initial preparations. Grady meticulously removed all the nail polish from her nails, completing our evening routine. As night enveloped the surroundings, we finished our dinner and retired to bed. Lying there, I found it difficult to fall asleep as my mind buzzed with anticipation for the upcoming day's adventure. Despite my restless thoughts, fatigue eventually overtook me, and I drifted off into slumber. The next morning, we awoke early to the sound of the alarm, greeting each other with the customary morning wishes. Oliver, make sure to shave your facial hair perfectly, Grady instructed me, setting the tone for our preparations for the day ahead. I made my way to the bathroom, eager to shave off my facial hair and enjoy a refreshing bath. After completing my grooming routine, I returned to the bedroom, where Grady took her turn to freshen up. Once we were both ready, Grady asked if we were ready to begin. I'm so excited, I replied, feeling a mix of nerves and anticipation. Don't worry, darling, I'm here with you, Grady reassured me as she handed me a set of pretty lace panties and a lacy underskirt. Following her instructions, I stripped off my male clothes and slipped into the delicate lace panties. It had been years since I wore such soft and feminine underwear, and I couldn't help but revel in the sensation. Next, I put on the hip enhancer panty, admiring the way it accentuated my hips and backside. Finally, I slid into the lace underskirt, feeling the softness of the fabric against my legs. After donning the panties and underskirt, I returned to the bedroom, feeling a bit bashful about wearing women's underwear in front of my wife for the first time. Grady observed me closely but didn't say anything, her silence comforting in its own way. Next, Grady handed me a padded bra, and I quickly put it on, drawing on my past experience from school dramas. Grady then approached me with silicone breast forms, adjusting my bra before inserting the forms into the cups. As the bra was filled out, it added weight to my chest, and I couldn't help but feel a newfound sense of femininity. Without delay, Grady picked out a pretty frock and helped me slip into it, completing my transformation. Standing in the frock, I felt the beginnings of a basic female look taking shape. Darling, you look like a girl now. So cute, Grady complimented me on my transformed appearance. Curious to see my new look, I approached the mirror. Looking back at me was a girl with short hair, boasting a female figure thanks to the breast forms and hip enhancer panty. "What do you think of your newfound beauty?" Grady inquired. "It's wonderful, darling. I never imagined I could achieve this kind of female look at my age," I replied, amazed at the transformation before me. "Darling, time is limited. I need to finish your makeup. And I also have to dress as a boy. Shall we start your makeup?" Grady asked, her tone urgent. I nodded, sitting on the bed as Grady began the makeup process. She started by applying foundation, skillfully enhancing my features with each stroke of the brush. After a few minutes, she declared that the simple makeup was enough. Next, Grady placed a wig on my head, crafted from natural human hair. As she adjusted it into place, I felt my transformation solidify, my male appearance completely concealed by the makeup and wig. Grady then presented clip-on earrings, which she secured to my ears without the need for piercings. She followed this with a necklace, completing the accessories. Finally, I slipped on a pair of 2-inch heels, adding the finishing touch to my transformation. After completing my transformation, I admired my cute female look in the mirror. I noticed Grady carefully studying me. "Darling, you look so cute. No one would ever identify you as a crossdresser. You perfectly resemble a real girl. We can visit any place without hesitation." Grady complimented my beauty. "Thank you, darling. You're so talented," I expressed my gratitude to my wife. "It's not my talent. This look comes from your natural beauty. Surely, every boy will be captivated by you. I'll have to pay extra attention to protect you from admirers," Grady teased, eliciting a shy smile from me. "Darling, enjoy your new beauty. I'll begin my transformation process now. It should be simpler for me to transform into a boy," Grady announced. I watched as Grady started her transformation, first flattening her chest with a tight cloth and then donning male underwear, denim trousers, and a shirt. She removed her earrings and styled her short hair into a male hairstyle, completing the look with shoes. After the transformation, my wife sported a cute male appearance. "Now you look like a cute boy. No one will identify you as Grady," I remarked. "Before we visit the restaurant, we've chosen new names for ourselves. I think Emily is best for you, and Henry for me," Grady proposed, suggesting new identities for us. "That sounds perfect," I agreed, ready to embark on our adventure with our new personas. As we prepared to visit the restaurant, Grady handed me a lady's handbag. "Put your phone and purse in this handbag," Grady instructed, and I complied, feeling the weight of responsibility settle in. Excitedly, we stepped into our living room and then out of our home, ready for our mission. Grady took the driver's seat, and in just a few minutes, we arrived at the bustling restaurant, filled with patrons. Feeling a pang of fear at the sight of the crowded establishment, I instinctively reached for Grady's hand, finding comfort in her presence. Her small smile reassured me as we entered the restaurant and found a table, ordering food and drinks. While we dined, Grady and I discreetly surveyed the surroundings, searching for any signs of our suspect. After a few hours, Grady noticed a man exhibiting abnormal behavior, particularly a problem with his right leg. "That man doesn't seem normal. Look at him, he's favoring his right leg. I suspect him, and do you see? He's been looking at you," Grady pointed out. "What should we do now?" I asked, feeling a surge of apprehension. "I have an idea. We found hair near the bank locker where the robbery occurred. If we can collect hair from this man, we can determine if he's involved. You should engage him in conversation and try to gather hair samples," Grady explained her plan. Though hesitant, I resolved to face the challenge ahead, knowing it was crucial to uncover the truth. "Darling, now I'll act like I'm leaving the restaurant. I'll go outside, but don't worry, I'll keep a close eye on you. I believe he'll approach you and try to strike up a conversation. If he does, engage with him, and if you have the chance, collect some hair from him," Grady explained the plan. Grady executed her part flawlessly, pretending to leave the restaurant while I remained seated at my table, feeling nervous. As predicted, the man soon approached me, asking to join me at my table. I welcomed him, using my experience from school dramas to maintain a convincing female voice. We exchanged details, chatting for a few minutes, during which he gave me his telephone number, expressing his desire to meet again. Seizing the opportunity, I hugged him, discreetly collecting some of his hair. When the man departed, Grady returned to me, her expression radiating pride. "Wow, you're incredible, darling. I saw you did it," she praised me. "Thank you," I replied, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. "Our mission is complete. Let's go, my darling," Grady said, signaling the end of our successful operation after leaving the restaurant. We made our way back home and settled into our living room, where we shared stories and reflections on our adventure. Eventually, I excused myself and made my way to our bedroom, feeling a pang of sadness as I removed my feminine clothes and accessories. It was uncertain when I would have another chance to dress as a girl, and the thought weighed heavily on my mind. With a heavy heart, I entered the bathroom, washed away the remnants of makeup, and enjoyed a refreshing bath. Emerging from the bathroom, I dressed in my regular male attire. Meanwhile, Grady also freshened up and changed into her usual female clothes. We had dinner together before retiring to bed. As I lay there, reflecting on the unforgettable experience of the day, excitement for future adventures filled my thoughts, and I drifted off to sleep. The next day, Grady headed to her office, carrying the suspect's hair sample for analysis. Meanwhile, I occupied myself in the living room, watching TV. In the midst of my leisure, I received a call from Grady, informing me that the hair sample had matched those collected near the bank locker. She promised to share more details upon her return. In the evening, Grady returned home, and after she had a bath, we settled in the living room once again, ready to discuss the developments of the day. "Oliver, we arrested the suspect this evening," Grady began our conversation. "That's good news," I replied, my emotions a mix of happiness and sadness. While I was glad that the suspect was apprehended, I couldn't shake the sadness of knowing that my chance to dress as a girl was likely over. "Did you know that our mission received a lot of appreciation? I'm really happy about it. Our team leader, Clara, personally thanked you for your support in the success of our mission. She even expressed a desire to meet you," Grady shared. "Did you tell her about our transformation?" I inquired. "Yes, she knows everything, and she was amazed by your performance as a girl," Grady replied with a smile. "That experience was truly unforgettable for me. It's just sad that it's come to an end," I expressed, feeling a tinge of melancholy. Grady noticed my sadness and asked, "Why are you feeling down?" I hesitated for a moment before responding, unable to put my feelings into words. We sat in silence for a few minutes until Grady broke the quietude with a serious tone. "Oliver, I want to discuss something very important with you," Grady announced.